guys, what's up? We have a new Link monster from the Link Frames pack. This time it is to support the Madolche archetype. This is fresh Madolche Sistart. It is a Link to Earth Fairy Link monster with 1500 attack, and the links are pointed at the bottom left and bottom right. It requires 2 Madolche monsters, and its effect is 1. While this card points to a Madolche monster, Madolche spell and trap cards you control cannot be targeted or destroyed by effects. 2. If this card on the field would be destroyed by battle or a card effect, you can return 1 Madolche monster in your graveyard to your deck instead. Now, the requirements for this card make it specific only to the deck, which means it cannot be abused by a variety of decks. This is good as it provides the necessary benefit only to which Konami has dedicated it to. In the past, there have been cards that have been splashed far too wide for their liking, or frankly for my liking. The attack stat is mediocre at best. You will need a means of protecting it or increasing its stats to survive against whatever your opponent intends to do. In terms of the first effect, to protect your Madolche Backrow cards, it prevents you from losing your advantage. The idea of the Madolche is that they can be recovered and brought back to either the deck, or with certain Backrow like Chateau, to go back to your hand, in which they can reswarm the field. They can also gain stats and inflict effect damage, and spam the field with cards such as Madolche Palooza. Keeping these cards often stops your opponent from outgrinding you by keeping hold of your resources. They will now have to deal with Sistart first before they can proceed to deal with your Backrow. As for the second effect, there are times where you may not have the Backrow recovery cards set up until later in the duel, in which case your graveyard could be full of Madolche monsters. It can keep itself on the field by sending a Madolche back to the deck, so at worst you aren't losing anything. Or if you don't have any Madolche in the graveyard for this effect, consider that you're only losing this card, in which case it has served its purpose. The Madolche focus on recycling their cards for repeated use, with all of the Madolche monsters being sent either back to the deck or to the hand after being destroyed by an opponent. Several of those monsters have effects that send Madolche-specific spell and trap cards from the graveyard back to the deck, or from the deck to your hand. This makes the Madolche very difficult to deck out, a strategy that almost entirely opposite to many other contemporary archetypes. While the deck does not do any deck thinning on its own, it does, however, feature a wide variety of searches, making the deck highly stable. Madolche Battlerusk is capable of scanning the deck for a field spell, which is mostly exclusively used for Madolche Chateau. Madolche Messengelato can search for any Madolche spell or trap card, allowing easy access to many support cards. Madolche Mergeline and Madolche Ticket are easily capable of searching for other monsters from the deck, and Madolche Marmol Maid can recycle spell and traps, which are likely the only cards that will stay in the graveyard. This also gives the Madolche a unique ability to deplete your opponent's resources. The archetype is largely unaffected by widespread destruction cards, such as Dark Hole or Torrential Tribute, and in fact benefit from their opponent's use of it, able to quickly swarm back to the field while their opponent has no monsters, with help from cards like a Madolche Ticket and what is now currently banned, Ultimate Offering. The ultimate goal of most Madolche decks is to maintain card advantage and take advantage of openings to quickly deal damage. The main powerhouse cards used are Madolche Puddincess and Madolche Queen Tiramisu. They have relatively high attack so long as the effect of Puddincess requirement of the graveyard being empty is met, and powerful effects to deplete your opponent's field presence, clearing the way for the weaker monsters to attack directly. Out of the two, Queen Tiramisu is more prominently used as the deck's boss monster, as it not only features a massive attack stat, but it also possesses the ability to eliminate targets on the opposing field by returning cards to the deck. This is particularly effective because Queen Tiramisu has an effect that does not target, making responding to this effect very difficult to do in most scenarios. Because of their ability to swarm the field, they can also quickly and easily exceed summon rank 4 or 3 monsters, and especially Earth attribute support such as Soul of Silver Mountain or Fairy King Albert the Deek. GNX ally Birdman makes ideal support for performing a synchro summon, bouncing a Madolche back to your hand, so you can use their effect again to summon itself. GNX ally Triforce is ideal for this, since level 4 monsters are common in this archetype, and using an Earth attribute activates the effect of Triforce to keep an opponent's spell and trap cards from activating during battle. But be careful with these styles of summoning. Since they place Madolche in the graveyard unavoidably, the Madolche are also in possession of an effect damage loop that abuses the effects of Madolche Waltz, Madolche Chateau, and Desperate Tag. While those 3 cards are active and the player controls at least 2 of the warrior-type Madolche, they can use Desperate Tag to continuously attack a more powerful opponent, cause 300 damage with Waltz, special summon a new warrior, and return the old one to the hand. Madolche Messengelato is preferable for this so long as you have a beast type on the field. Since each time it is special summoned, you can add one of the Madolche spell or trap cards to your hand, further increasing your hand and field advantage. Madolche Chevalier works fine as well, since his effect prevents your other Madolche monsters from being targeted for attacks. If you have Madolche Ticket and a Fairy-type Madolche monster, you can special summon another Warrior-type Madolche monster in addition to this loop. For Messengelato, as long as this loop happens in your battle phase, you can use its effect again and again. So, what do you think of this card? Will it help the Madolche enough to bring them into the Link era, or are other cards still needed? Leave your comments down below, like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and as always, thank you for taking the time to watch this video.